Over 20 years, it has been the great anime civil war, a debate that has shattered friendships, flooded forums, and defined an entire generation of shonen fans. And for 20 years, most people have gotten it completely wrong. Naruto Uzumaki, the Child of Prophecy, the Seventh Hokage, the God of Shinobi, versus Ichigo Kurosaki, the Substitute Soul Reaper, the Transcendent Protector, the guy with a sword the size of a surfboard. It's a question that's been asked a million times. Who would win? But today, we're not just asking who would win, we're here to explain why, from a Bleach fan's perspective, this isn't even a fair fight. Why the very concept of these two having a competitive battle is a fundamental misunderstanding of how their powers work. Forget who makes the bigger explosion, forget who has more training. We're going to break down the science, the metaphysics, and the cold hard facts that lead to one inescapable conclusion. Ichigo Kurosaki doesn't just beat Naruto, he operates on a plane of existence that makes Naruto's entire power set, well, cute. He doesn't just win, he negs the verse. And I know what you're thinking, oh great, another biased power scaler. But stick with me, because by the end of this, you'll see that this isn't about bias, it's about physics, and we're going to build our case on 4 pillars of evidence that, together, are absolutely unshakable. So, grab your popcorn, suspend your disbelief, and prepare for a deep dive. Let's get started. First things first, we have to talk about the energy systems. This is the absolute bedrock of the entire argument, and folks, they are not the same. Not even close. In Naruto, chakra is basically high-octane life force. It's a mix of physical energy from your cells and spiritual energy from your mind. Think of it like gasoline. You need it to run the engine, but the gas itself doesn't do much. You have to put it in the car, a jutsu, to make it go anywhere. A Rasengan, a Chidori, a Fireball Jutsu. These are all applications of chakra. Raw chakra on its own, not very threatening. Reiatsu, or spiritual pressure, is a completely different beast. It's not the feel for the techniques, it is the technique. It's the passive crushing aura exerted by being souls. A powerful Soul Reaper doesn't need to do anything to be dangerous. Their very existence is a weapon. Remember when Aizen, while suppressed and chained to a chair, could make a regular human literally evaporate just by being near them? Yeah. Naruto has to do something to be a threat. Ichigo just has to show up. This leads us to the most broken and most misunderstood concept in all of Bleach, Reiatsu Crush. As the man himself said, a fight between spiritual beings is just a math problem. If the difference in your spiritual pressure is big enough, the stronger person can just say no. No to your attacks, no to your abilities, no to you even being able to stand up straight. This isn't just intimidation, it's a physical force. An attack thrown by someone with weaker Reiatsu can literally dissolve into thin air before it even reaches its target. Now hold that thought, because we're going to come back to just how big the gap between Ichigo and Naruto is later. But spoiler alert, it's an abyss. Following the rules of Bleach, Naruto's most powerful attacks would likely fizzle out 100 feet away from Ichigo. And if that wasn't enough, there's one more nail in the coffin. Ichigo is a Shinigami, a death god. His sword, the Zanpakuto, is designed for one primary purpose, to cut souls. In Bleach, this is baseline, day 1 stuff. In Naruto, attacking the soul is treated like a forbidden ultimate technique. Things like the Reaper Death Seal are considered legendary for a reason. The verse has almost no defense against direct soul manipulation. Naruto's giant Kurama mech suit is great for stopping big explosions, but what's it going to do against an attack that ignores the physical body entirely and just carves up his soul? His famous regeneration heals his physical body, but there is no evidence it can patch his spirit back together. after it has been sliced in half. It's a fundamental mismatch. Naruto is playing checkers and Ichigo is playing 4D chess on a spiritual plane. Okay, so the power systems are different, but what about raw power? Who's stronger? This is where the debate moves from a mismatch to an absolute stomp out. He's getting jumped, he's getting beat down. To figure this out, we have to look at the final bosses they each fought. Naruto's peak is measured by Kaguya, the mother of all chakra, and let's give her credit. Kaguya was a beast. She could create and travel between her own dimensions, and her ultimate attack, the expansive truth-seeking ball, was stated to be able to destroy one of these dimensions, a space that contained a star, and then remake it. By defeating her with a lot of help, mind you, Naruto solidified his spot as a planetary, or at the most generous, a dimensional level threat. That is the absolute peak of the Naruto verse. Ichigo's peak, well, galaxy, literally. Bleach Universe is actually a multiverse composed of at least 3 separate realms: the world of the living, the Soul Society, Hueco Mundo. These aren't just planets, they are distinct separate space-times, each shown to have their own stars and galaxies. The beings hold these 3 universes together. The linchpin of reality was the Soul King, and in the final arc, the villain Yuha Bak absorbs the Soul King. His goal? To collapse all 3 universes and merge them into one new reality. This isn't a interpretation, it's the literal stated plot. He was a multiversal threat, actively in the process of unmaking reality. And who was the only person strong enough to stop him? Ichigo Kurosaki. In his final form, Ichigo's power was so immense that Yuha Bak, a being who could see and alter every possible future, called Ichigo's Bankai the single greatest threat to his plan. Let's put that in perspective. Naruto defeated a goddess who could destroy a dimension. Ichigo defeated a god who was actively destroying and recreating a multiverse. The scale isn't even comparable. A casual swing from Ichigo's sword logically contains more raw power than Naruto's strongest possible attack. It's like comparing a hand grenade to an asteroid that killed the so. Okay, I hear you typing. But what about a straight up fist fight? Power levels are one thing, but what about speed and durability? I'm glad you asked. Because even if we equalize their power, this is a tactical nightmare for Naruto. Let's talk about speed. Both of these guys are fast, like ridiculously fast. Faster than light fast. Naruto's big claim to fame is dodging Madara's light fang, an attack stated to travel at the speed of light. That's an incredible feat and puts him solidly in the FTL plus category. But Ichigo is a tier all on his own. Massively faster than Light Plus, MFTL Plus. How? Well, early in the series, even Lieutenant level Soul Reapers could dodge beams of literal light. Ichigo, by the end of the first major arc, was already way faster than them. Now, add the Bankai multiplier, which is stated to be 5 to 10 times boost to all stats, including speed, then add his Hollow Mask for another huge boost. By the time he reaches his final form, his speed has been amplified exponentially from an already FTL baseline. Naruto can react to light. Ichigo makes characters who react to light look like they're standing still. But the real killer is durability. And this is where it gets a little funny. Naruto has insane durability against big explosive energy attacks and blunt force trauma. He's tanked mountain level blasts and moon slicing attacks, but he has one consistent glaring weakness that pops up throughout the entire series. He's really, really bad at not getting stabbed. From day one to his adult years, his powerful chakra cloaks have been vulnerable to sharp, piercing attacks. And what is Ichigo's primary method of attack? You got it. He's a swordsman. It's what he does. Naruto's greatest defensive weakness is Ichigo's most basic form of attack. To make matters worse, Ichigo has multiple layers of defense specifically against this kind of damage, like the Hollow Hiedo or Iron Skin and the Quincy's Blunt blunt venom, which hardens his body to stop blades. It's a tactical checkmate. The debate about who can tank a bigger explosion is irrelevant when one guy's basic attack exploits the other's Achilles heel. Alright, this is the last stand for Naruto argument. His versatility and hacks. Even if Ichigo is stronger and faster, they say, Naruto is smarter and has more tricks up his sleeve. And he does. Shadow clones, genjutsu, truth-seeking orbs. It's an impressive arsenal. Too bad almost none of it would work. Let's start with the signature move, the shadow clone jutsu. Overwhelm the enemy with numbers. Great strategy, except remember Reiatsu Crush? Naruto's clone, each with a tiny fraction of his power, would have a spiritual presence so small they'd likely just pop out of existence the second they got near Ichigo. He wouldn't even have to swing his sword. His aura would be like a bug zapper for shadow clones. Next up, Genjutsu, the ultimate illusionary mind control. It works by injecting chakra into an opponent's nervous system to control the chakra in their brain. See the problem? Ichigo is a soul. He doesn't have a physical brain or a chakra network for the Genjutsu to manipulate. It's like trying to run a Windows program on a Mac. Hardware is fundamentally incompatible. And finally, the big one, the truth-seeking orbs or TSOs. Naruto's ultimate defense. Black spears that can nullify any and all forms of ninjutsu they touch. A powerful tool for sure, but Ichigo's attacks, like Getsuga Tensho, aren't ninjutsu. They're a raw, concentrated blast of pure spiritual energy. The TSO's primary function simply doesn't apply. Furthermore, given the multiversal scaling of Ichigo's Reiatsu, his own spiritual pressure would likely just overpower and negate the TSO's effects anyway. When you strip away all the techniques that don't work, you're left with their ultimate forms. Naruto has his giant tail beast bomb Rasen shurikens. Ichigo has Mugetsu, a state where he literally becomes the attack, ascending to a higher dimension of existence that even a transcendent being like Aizen couldn't comprehend. And then there's his true Bankai, a power so terrifying that the nigh omnipotent Yuha Bak broke it with his future-altering powers before Ichigo could even use it, leading many to believe it has the conceptual ability to shatter fate itself. Naruto's ultimate moves are about destruction. Ichigo's are about rewriting the laws. 1. So, let's recap. 1. Ichigo's power system. Reiatsu is conceptually superior and passively negates Naruto's, while directly attacking his soul. 2. Ichigo's power scales to a multiversal level, order of magnitude beyond Naruto's planetary to dimensional ceiling. 3. Ichigo is faster by a massive margin, and his basic attack are a perfect hard counter to Naruto's biggest defensive flaw, swords. And 4. Ichigo's very nature as a spiritual being from another reality renders Naruto's most powerful hacks ability, from shadow clones to genjutsu to truth-seeking orbs, completely useless. This isn't about which character you like more. It's not a debate about who had the better story or who the better hero is. It's a physics problem. And when you run the numbers, the conclusion is unavoidable. Naruto may be the god of shinobi, the strongest in his world, but Ichigo Kurosaki is a transcendent protector of entire universes. When the god of shinobi meets the protector of 3 realms, the result isn't a battle, it's a demolition. Ichigo doesn't just win, he necks the verse. But hey, that's just our take. What do you guys think? Did we miss anything? Is there a Naruto argument that we didn't cover? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching. Seemlytuber out. Peace.